Welcome to Empower Hour. Let's get growing. Good morning. So good to be back in New York. And yes, it's baseball cap day. If I had stayed in the Dominican Republic any longer, I would have dreadlocks. So I got home around 10 p.m. last night and got a little bit of sleep, but feeling really good, really excited, really primed to be here. I'm very excited to be here with you guys. I think I'm going to start bringing guests on. That's something I was thinking about. So probably not next week, but in the next couple of weeks. So if you know anybody or you are somebody who feels you have something to bring entrepreneurs, business leaders, creatives, I would love. And I can't see who's saying good morning because of the way I have my screen, but good morning. So grateful. So grateful. And let's get going. So I'm pretty excited because, I come up with the topics and then I try to see what I channel or download or what comes to me, what gets presented to me related to that topic throughout the entire week. And so, of course, I started out with sustainable business models, and then I added on to it that nourish your soul, because that's my mission, right? Soulful Prosperity. And then it just kept morphing. And while I was in the Dominican Republic, I live like a local. When I'm there, I take the local guagua as transportation, and I'm on the bus with about, very tiny bus with about 20, 30 other people. Yeah, it's crazy. And I get to meet some really interesting people, some beautiful and lovely people. And I met a couple the other day who were from Haiti. And they had this beautiful 1-year-old boy, beautiful wife, beautiful husband. And we started up a conversation. And of course, I'm immediately feeling, I don't know, just my heart felt full of all kinds of emotions for everything that is going on in Haiti in the moment. But this young man spoke English really well. And then it turns out he speaks all other kind of languages. He lives in a village that has been taken over by gangsters, and he still manages to travel, get back and forth across the border with his family, leaving, going to different countries. And it really got me thinking, the most sustainable thing you can do for your business is your energy and your mindset and your belief in having 100% ownership over all of your emotions and outcomes. And so while we're definitely going to go through some different sustainable business models and concepts today, that is number one. And when I got to thinking, and I don't mean to be like gloom and doom, but we live in a life where I grew up. I'm going to be 53. We had a pretty cushy thing. There wasn't any major wars, any crises. Like, things were pretty smooth for a long time. And there's a lot going on in this country. We don't know what's going to happen. We do not have control of anything but ourselves. And our ability to earn, our ability to be prosperous, our ability to be abundant, all comes from within. Because you can have external circumstances that allow you to earn, but they could disappear. They could change overnight. It happened to me less than 2 years ago. Completely gone, completely changed. And thank God I had a set of protocols to give me the emotional stamina to get through that circumstance. And so while we're going to talk about different things in your business to help you be more productive, earn more money, it really starts here. It starts here. And that doesn't matter if you're watching right now and you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're a business leader, or you're an employee who aspires to be a leader or open your own company or whatever it is. No matter what, your ability to thrive and flourish comes from within. So I wanted to make sure to make that point. It's super, super important. And so the first topic that I want to talk about is authenticity and branding. We talked a little bit about this in the last couple of weeks. And this is something that I've struggled with for a long time. I had this whole spiritual life. I started my spiritual endeavors, it's close to 20 years ago, when I went through a 7-year Buddhist study course and became an ordained Buddhist priest and an ordained meditation teacher and was teaching at the monastery and all kinds of things. But I always kept it very separate. And in the last 2 years, I still even struggled with bringing that together. Well, if I talk too much about this, I'm going to turn off. But I finally realized that I want to work with the people who want to work with me as I am, incorporating my spiritual practices and being exactly who I am in my wholeness, embracing my true self, integrating my personal values and my spiritual practices into my business. And now I am creating a brand that resonates deeply with those who I aim to serve and who I aim to be in business with. And this has brought profound meaning to my life and my business. And how does this make it sustainable? Well, I'll tell you. I was just in the Dominican Republic for 3 weeks. I didn't take one entire whole day off. Why? Because I am so in love with what I am doing. And you can say, well, yeah, well, that's because you own your own business and that's because you're in the Dominican Republic or any of these things. Listen, circumstances do not make us. I was very grateful to wake up right here in Mahopac, New York this morning, Mahopac, in case someone's watching that's going to yell at me for saying it wrong. And it truly is about the fact that I love yes, of course, I love what I'm doing it, but I love how I'm doing it. I love that I am awakening my creativity and different sides of who I am and get to bring them into my work. I love that I have learned how to bring meaning to everything. Yeah, everything's a sign of something great and something profound and something beautiful and something divine in my work. And that is just the best thing ever. And that sustainability is all about the fact that I won't get tired of this because I'm on a path to keep being open, to be in expansion and to grow. And this brings me to attracting the right tribe. This is super important. At the end of 2023, I had to take a look at my book of business. And I realized that the way that I was building my business, and I was really proud of myself, I earned a really good living in my first year of coaching. I know a lot of coaches, and that's a big deal. It's huge. But I realized the way that I was building my book of business was not aligned with who I wanted to be, with who my future self was, and how I wanted my life to be. It wasn't building a life by design. It was building a life by default. It was an upgrade, absolutely. So I had to take a look at and let go of, or just not even pursue renewing certain type of clients. I'm in a place where I no longer want to try to be everything to everyone. And I think that's a mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make in the real estate industry. I saw it For all 28 years, I've seen realtors burn themselves out. And I know realtors are not, it's just the industry that I was in. I know this is very much the case for a lot of entrepreneurs. We start bending over backwards and trying to be me. I was being superwoman for so long. And then when you start presenting yourself authentically and creating your boundaries and saying no, you will magnetize a community that shares your values and your vision. You're going to attract people that you want to be in business with. And this has turned my career into a source of joy and fulfillment, which is a huge thing. I've never really had that. And if you look at my, 20 something years in real estate, I changed constantly. I was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, it all grew and brought me success. The reason why I was constantly changing was because I wasn't ever showing up authentically as myself, and it created a void. And this is not a sustainable practice. And so attracting the right tribe by building that authenticity in your branding is going to give you a sustainability that comes from the inside. Really important. Mindfulness and leadership. Implementing my personal practice of mindfulness into my professional world fundamentally changed how I manage my team and how I manage my business. And this is, again, bringing my spiritual world together with my professional world. I mean, they were completely separate up until a few years ago. So through practices like just regular check-ins, prioritizing physical and mental health with my staff, I've seen a notable increase in my own productivity and well-being. And I'd like to also say my team. I hear my team talking about their family and spending more time together and, getting exercise in and meditation and all those things. And it's just a beautiful conversation to be having. And those numbers that we monitor are super important, but they go in the right direction. And it fosters an environment of empathy and well-being and love. And that, again, is a sustainable business practice. If you have a toxic environment, if you have people who are suffering at home and dragging themselves in and just pushing themselves to make it through the day, that's not sustainable. And it's not healthy and it's not good for anybody. Now, remote sustainability through eco-friendly practices was something that was challenging for me. And then I remembered a story of a few years ago. I wrote an article for my local newspaper for years, a business article. And before the pandemic, about 3 years before the pandemic, I wrote an article that did not sit right with many local business owners. And the article basically said, if you do not have an online presence, it's too bad. I'm going to shop online. I'm going to shop where it's convenient for me. My life has changed. The economy had changed. I need to do things that are efficient for me. And I would love to do that locally. But it's also the local business leaders' responsibility to make sure they have this online presence. And so how do you tie this into eco-friendly? Well, I realized that my mission to be remote really is an eco-friendly practice. And it brings me in alignment with the world that I love because it is much less of a carbon footprint. There's no printing. When people need me to print something, I'm literally like, okay, I guess I got to go somewhere to print something. I don't know why we need to print things. So there are many ways. And this is a really, really important aspect of business that we all need to be focused on. So this is probably more for local business owners or business owners that have an actual office and brick and mortar, figuring out ways that you can be eco-friendly. And it might be something that you have to give some thought. But this is the world that we are evolving into. We have all awakened and understand that we need to take care of our world. And it's going to help you grow and help you to attract people who are going to be extremely loyal to you. Besides, for me, working remotely, I get to have home cooked meals, regular movement breaks, and it's just such an amazing thing. And it took mindfulness and really thinking about it. And now I feel so much better about that decision because it doesn't only make sense just for me, but it makes sense for the world. And again, I'm going to go back to technology, leveraging technology. And that story about, that one business owner who did not want to. So I didn't finish the story. So I wrote the story and it ruffled a lot of people's feathers. And then this one woman who was on the board with me owned a boutique locally. And she was like very upset, very mad at me for writing that article and saying, if you don't have an online practice and a way for me to shop online, too bad. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I was the chairwoman, the founding chairwoman of the local business council. And then I explained to her, listen, if I can just message you and tell you that this is what I'm looking for, and then you can get back to me with pictures or a video of options, and then you can ship it to me, or you can have it all ready for me and I can come pick it up. There you go. It doesn't have to be super complicated. This was before the pandemic. Everybody freaking out about artificial intelligence and about all these different things. We are evolving. We are in the age of Aquarius. Technology is going to take an even more prominent place in our world. It's not going backwards, but so many beautiful things have come out of this. In many ways, I see collaboration and communication improving. So it really depends on what you focus on, right? What you focus on expands. But I'm here to tell you that you have a responsibility to figure out the latest and the greatest of tools of technology for your industry, and to do the research and to figure out what fits and what is going to move your business forward, what is going to make things more convenient for your consumers, for your clients. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind. That was before the pandemic. After the pandemic, it's fast forward. And AI has taken over everything. But if you figure out how to do it right, and you figure out how to do it with your heart and mindfully, you can figure out how to leverage technology in your business. And this is a must for a sustainable business model. A must. And then we get to ethical financial practices. If we are not watching our finances, and this nearly ruined me, I'm not going to sit here and act like I am some financial guru. I am so far from it. But it is my number one commitment and priority in my business right now. Understanding the budget, understanding what's coming in, what's going out, what I need to cover my monthly nut, what I need to be profitable, what I need to invest to grow my business, and understanding those numbers. I've personally embraced simplicity and transparency in all my financial dealings. Transparency was one of the things, not having difficult conversations, not having everything in writing. Part of financial responsibility is contracts and agreements. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a coach, if you're these things where you're entering into things with your clients and you're not getting contracts signed, you're not being financially responsible, and it's going to come back to bite you. Hello, I know this firsthand. And so this has been a very challenging yet crucial part of my journey. And so if you're just starting out, that's great. Figure it out now. How many yoga sessions do I need to do in order to be able to pay for this and this and this and this? And then how many do I need to do? Whatever business that you're looking to start. If you own a boutique, how many articles of clothing at this price, so on and so forth, and truly understanding those finances. I don't want you to live there. They're not the ultimate numbers that drive you, but they're going to give you the peace of mind and the freedom to focus on what truly matters. This is a conversation I've been having with my team all week. I need to be able to focus on what truly matters. I need to focus on being a better coach. I need to focus on my mission of helping over 1 million people level up themselves and their businesses to be the best versions, to create a life and a career worth living and a life by design. That's what matters. And so I get to my last one, commitment to continuous learning. Although I dropped out of high school, I have woven continuous learning into the fabric of my business. It keeps me adaptable, it keeps me informed, and it keeps me prepared to tackle new challenges. I'm always working on some new certification, some new skill, some new something that I can bring forward and that I can learn. At the same time, I have now gone back and I'm recommitted to some of the things like my Buddhist practice, like my optimized coaching community that I'm certified in, and other things, re-engaging and going back and getting into mastery. And so this keeps me confident and secure in all that I am doing. So I have a short one today because I am exhausted and just home, but I'm curious, what are you guys doing? What questions do you have? What are you doing? What are your business models that are ensuring sustainability? Obviously, for me, sustainability has a lot to do with who I am internally and how I am operating. How do I balance cost with sustainability in your business model? Well, I'm not sure that they go 1,000% together. So it depends on what tools you're using. A lot of what I talked about doesn't really cost anything. It's just looking forward. It's understanding. So the list that I kind of went through today is a hybrid of what Forbes or Harvard Business Review would offer, but with my spin, who I am and what's important to me and my values, right? And so when you're looking at how to create a sustainable business model, it's really important that you're looking forward to what the trends are and then translating those trends to who you are. Make sense? But I don't think that there is a huge cost to being sustainable. It's a matter of staying a few steps ahead, understanding what's going on, being aligned with your values, being aligned with your vision, being crystal clear with what they are and who you want to be and who you want to be in business with. Can you provide examples of how your business has positively impacted the community through sustainable business practices? I believe I have positively impacted the community by showing up as my authentic self. And that is a sustainable business practice for me, because if I'm not loving it, I don't want to do it. You guys, I don't know about you, but I've been through so much shit in my life. I'm not willing to settle for mediocrity. I don't want to have to be anywhere. I want to get to do things. I want to feel that like I get to do this today. And when I start going off in ways, and my team will tell you, once I start feeling like this is dragging me down, it needs to get changed. And I have evolved so much in 2 years. And so I hope that this has impacted the community. And I've had, listen, I'm not a content creator and an influencer. I don't get 9 million likes. I don't get 1 million shares. I don't have 1 million followers. I don't have any of that. But when I do go out and meet people and interact, they tell me how something that I did or something I said impacted them, helped them, inspired them. And that, to me, is sustainable, because this is the kind of business that I want to grow. And it's positively impacting my community. Need a sip of my tea. Can sustainability also lead to competitive? Yeah, absolutely. Sustainability means just that. You always have the compatible advantage because you are a few steps ahead. You know what is going to help your business grow, what is going to have your business be relevant. Relevant has been like the buzzword in the entrepreneurial and business community for years. And so sustainability is always going to be a competitive advantage. Number one, you're looking a few steps ahead as to what's coming down the line. You're aware of the technology, and you are learning based and always understanding where you need to go next in order to have that advantage. That is a huge part of sustainability. How do you determine the cost for your services, or how much is a fair cost? Oh, this one, such a good question. Very, very, very not an easy thing to do. I run the gamut, and you just have to, number one, I guess you need to understand what the costs are for what you offer. Your competitive, they call it like guerrilla warfare marketing, like go out there and figure out what your competition does and how they offer it. But then you need to get within, right, and really know what is the value of what I'm offering. But if you go through a lot of those sustainable practices, like attracting your tribe and showing up authentically, I think that this will get easier. And I'm not going to lie, I still struggle with it. And I think then you're just going to hit that magic sweet spot. And I'm still not there. I won't pretend, but I've been there before. So sometimes that happens too. And you roll out a new product or you roll out a new offering and it's not going to hit. And then boom, one is just going to hit and it's going to go out of the ballpark. So you got to be ready for that as well. That's part of those financial responsibilities too, to know, especially in today's world, so much of what we do is not a steady product and offering. We're changing and we're evolving in all of our businesses, our entrepreneurs, you know what I'm trying to say. But so we have to be able to maintain when something doesn't not go boom right out of the ballpark. And it's funny because some of the things that you wouldn't expect to catch on. And then the things that you think are just going to be a grand slam are not. So there's a lot of process to determining the cost. And I think you have to go internally and externally, and you have to feel good about it. You have to feel you're providing value, and you have to know your value. You have to know your worth. And that's where that being learning based comes in. If you are not the best version of yourself and your business is not the best version of itself, people say to me, like, what do you mean you want to help 1 million people and businesses level up? Businesses have a soul, and you have to nourish that soul just like yourself. So you need to make sure that everything is exactly how it should be, and or you are taking action towards growth, towards being better in whatever areas where you may have weakness, and you are aware of them and you are honest and you are humble. You're going to feel good about the costs that you put forward in your business. Hope that makes sense. What's up, Vinny? Love you. Who else is on here? I don't know. I see all kinds of people. Thank you for that question. Peace 6061. How do you measure the success of your sustainability initiatives? Well, we talk about this. I have measurables, and I'm going to talk about my Beyond Limits program at the end of this. But one of the things that I help businesses do and that I do is create my business plan 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, or my vision casting. And then I create 90-day chunks of rocks, goals, and then I create measurables for those goals. And so when we meet weekly, we have the numbers that will be pushing us forward. And so measuring the success of your initiatives is going to depend on your business, your projects. What are you looking to do? How are you looking to grow? So breaking down those goals into scorecards, into measurables, into things that you can look at and see if you're headed in the right direction. But one of the things that many people are not measuring are all the little things that are going to help you to achieve your goals. And some of them are like what I started, managing your energy, managing your mindset. That needs to be measured. So you don't just implode, right? And then number of followers, number of subscribers, income, number of units sold. So it really depends on your business model, which is something I can help. No matter what kind of business you are in, I can help you create this plan, create the scorecards, and have everybody in your organization rowing in the same direction, knowing their goals, knowing what they need to do to hit those goals, and having measurable items so that they are accountable to themselves and to the team every single week. And they need to be looked at weekly. And that's how you can spot trends, and you can see if you're going in the right direction, you can see if you're going in the wrong direction, or you can see if you're just sitting still. What advice do you have a small business that want to start implementing but have limiting resources? I kind of already answered this. It really doesn't cost anything to especially the list that I put forward. Now, when you're going to invest in new technology, you want to play what I call red light, green light. So you're going to know when it's time to spend money, and you're going to know when it's not. That could also be part of those goals and those measurables. When we get to this number, we can invest in this technology. So technology is one of those that is going to be an investment. And I use Kajabi, and I use a lot of other platforms in my technology, and they have helped me tremendously. And I had to measure, what it's worth. And I had to invest in those things even before all the income was coming in. But I had, put that capital aside to do that. And so again, this is something that is really, really specific to a business, but something I can absolutely help you with. All right. I hope I don't hope. If you have more questions, ask away. I'm exhausted. Go back. How do you keep your team motivated, engaged in the sustainability goals of the business? I think, by having weekly meetings, by tweaking when things aren't working, by allowing them to have input, to give them space to be creative, and to also let people mess up, make mistakes, and support an environment that lets them know it's okay if we fail. We're gonna fail. We're gonna fail many more times than we succeed. And that we all are gonna have bad days, and we're all gonna struggle, but we're gonna move forward no matter what. And we're gonna move forward together as a team. All right, if we can show my Beyond Limits side. So I have this Beyond Limits program. This is your one thing for business growth. It's traction, coaching, operations, team building, learning how to message, communicate with your consumers, your clients, lead management, project management, and accountability all rolled into one. I have a wait list. I have one-on-one, or me coming in directly with your team, or I have a group program we're going to be launching. So it's super affordable. If you are looking to grow, you are looking to start, you are an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, business leader, I promise you there's not anyone I haven't worked with that hasn't had a minimum of 25% growth over and above what they projected in the 6 months. So go to the next one. And then also, you guys, if you did not register today, go to the next slide. Please, if you're watching on Instagram, you're watching on Facebook, go here, put this on the full screen, please. Go here and register. You're going to get a free, I don't know why it looks funny. You're going to get access to my Soulful Prosperity Toolkit, which is absolutely free. It includes mindset resets. It includes meditation. It includes practical applications to grow your business. Absolutely free. I am always, where am I? I am always adding to that Soulful Prosperity Toolkit. These are the things that enabled me to be able to live the life that I'm living right now. It is not perfect. It has lots of challenges, or what I call it, I'm in the expansion mode. It's not easy peasy, but I am grateful. I am blessed. I am filled with joy. I am prosperous. I am abundant. And I want to help you to get where you want to go and to become the man or woman of your dreams and to live and design a career and a life worth having and the one you desire. Thank you guys. Have a great week.